All right, so we're going live. Yes. Awesome. Great. It seems like we have a good connection. Let's see how this will work today. All right, today we are going to talk about what you should expect from your immigration attorney. Okay, what you should expect from your immigration attorney, what questions you should ask when you are meeting with your immigration attorney, and in the meantime, you can ask me any questions you have in the chat. So let's see how this will work. Confirm. Let's confirm it works. Awesome. Great. Now that you can hear me. Awesome. Confirm that you can hear me. Excellent. Oh, good. Thank you so much for doing that. Awesome. So guys, we are live on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you guys can hear us, if you join us, thank you so much. If you see me looking here, I'm looking at TikTok. You see me looking there, I'm pretty much looking at Facebook and all the other ones. I am trying to get to all of you, so that'd be marvelous. Any questions you have, as usual, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I will try to address them in the order in which they come. Hi, Mr. Villarreal. How are you? Great to see you. Let's see. Oh, hello. I'm Stacy for real. Hi, Stacy. Good to see you. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. What we are going to try to address today is what to expect from your immigration lawyer, what questions you should ask, and how should you work with your immigration lawyer. Hi, Rizwan. Great. So, in the meantime, any immigration questions you have, feel free to put them in the chat and I will address them. So, what you should expect from an immigration attorney. First, you should expect your immigration attorney to tell you the truth about your situation. We get this quite a bit where we see people for consultations. They have perhaps seen other professionals before. They have seen an immigration attorney. They have seen a paralegal. They may have seen a notario. And it is totally different what they get from each of them. So let's establish like a baseline, what you should expect. Before anyone can give you advice, you need to make sure that they are an attorney and they can give you advice. Paralegals and notarios, notary publics, are not allowed in the United States to give you legal advice. They have not been trained to give you legal advice. They cannot give you legal advice. That being said, let's say you have seen, an attorney. An attorney will give you the advice that they think it's best based on the situation you describe to them. So you need to make sure that if you are going to see an immigration attorney, you make the most educated decision before you do that. And how do you do that? Make sure your lawyer is a lawyer. Okay, make sure they are licensed to practice law in the state. Make sure there are no disciplinary actions against that attorney or the lawyer is suspended. It does happen on occasion, all right? Rare, but it does happen. You need to make sure that, check that lawyer's reviews online. Make sure their reviews are legitimate from real clients, from real other professionals. Make sure they are legitimate and they span over a period of time, okay? Basically, if the lawyer says they've been practicing for 20 years, Google didn't start, Google reviews were not a thing 20 years ago, but maybe you should see some from like 5 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, if you are looking for an attorney with some experience, okay? So you need to make sure they are licensed, make sure they are practicing law, make sure they are indeed an attorney, check their Google reviews, make sure there are no complaints against them. That is all public knowledge, and believe it or not, makes common sense, and very few people look at that. Just because, for example, us on TikTok, to be honest, okay? So we are on TikTok, and every once in a while we give legal advice that some people, for political reasons or otherwise, they don't agree with it. And they go and they comment and they say, oh, it's fake, or it's a scam, or it's fraud, or it's whatever they come up with, okay? And other people believe that without doing their whole homework, okay? So, truth be told, it's like, it doesn't bother me at all because I know who we are, I know what we do, I know what our clients say about us. However, other people may not look at it that way. So some people say, oh, this is a scam, and then they just move on without doing their own research. So do that first, okay? Make sure you do that. Any immigration questions you guys have, please put them in the chat and we will address them, okay? I see a question. I'll get to that in 1 second. So that's a very good question, and I was going to get to that. You are going to get out of the consultation with the immigration attorney only what you put in, okay? It's going to be a free consultation, and it's going to happen 15 minutes from now. The attorney doesn't know anything about you. The attorney has not reviewed any of the documents that you sent to them in advance. How are they going to give you advice based on talking to you for 10 minutes? They are going to give you generalities. You are going to hear only what you want to hear, and then you are going to be disappointed. I personally, when I go to an attorney, and you can have your estate plan done, you can go for a divorce, you can go for other things, any attorney, okay? If they don't ask me questions before I go to the consultation with them, I simply cancel the consultation. I don't go. How are they going to give me advice on my situation without knowing anything about my situation? All right? You should do the same. So if you need to meet with an immigration attorney, okay, you need to make sure, first, you tell them the truth. You tell them the whole truth. You're not hiding information. And if they are requesting information, or they are asking you questions, or they are asking for documents, make sure you give that information and those documents ahead of time. The more information the immigration attorney has before they meet with you, the more accurate the advice is going to be. You are going to avoid playing all these back and forth. You are going to be satisfied when you're done with that consultation. Hi, good morning, Destiny. Hi, Shazad. All right. So, hi, Amanda. So, there is a good question that came from, I believe, in Facebook. It says, what documents or information should I take with me when I go see an immigration attorney? Here's the thing. You should not take the documents with you. You should send them to the attorney ahead of time, okay? The attorney should get those documents. Their office should get them. They will be sorting them. They will be looking through them. We are looking for things that don't match. We are looking for things that have happened in the past, your criminal history, marriage history, immigration history, anything that has happened in your past that could potentially affect the options that I can present to you as your lawyer, okay? The more information you give me, the better it is. Let me just give you an example before I answer that question fully, okay? You want my advice. Should you apply for a green card or should you apply for something that allows you to be here for 5 years on an investment basis? Okay? And you want to meet with me about that. But you want to know, A or B, which one is better for you? Well, unless I know what country you're from, how much do you want to invest? What is your education? Do you have any family in the United States? Have you been here before? Have you tried to get another visa before? What is your spouse's education? Are you married? You have kids? I will not be able to properly advise you on that. If you are telling me you have a PhD in mathematics, I need to see that diploma. I need to see the transcript. I need to make sure you have what you say you have, which you do if you're calling me about it, but I need to make sure it matches the immigration criteria. And that's an extreme example, okay? But that's what it looks like. Generally speaking, for our clients, what we need to make sure is, get me the passport. If you have ever been apprehended, caught at the border, send us those papers that you have. Anything you ever sent to the government and anything you ever received from the government. Anything that you have ever signed or filled out for any other immigration lawyer or any other immigration lawyer filed for you, send those in advance. If you have a criminal record, get those documents and see us in advance, okay? Send them to us in advance. If you have multiple marriages, you have been married before, you got divorced, whatever, send me the marriage certificate, send me the divorce paper, send me the birth certificate of your kids so I can establish a timeline and see what's going on if there is something that is not working well, okay? So that's what we need to determine. So I've been told that Instagram is not really working right now. So, well, I'm hoping it is. If not, Facebook it is, YouTube, or TikTok. So, Destiny, before I go to Destiny's question, what documents or information should I take with me when I go see an immigration attorney? Most immigration attorneys this day will work with you remote. It doesn't matter where you are, anywhere in the world. You book the consultation, you send the documents ahead of time, you talk to the team, and they're going to ask you the questions, and then we are going to have, to review those documents and be able to advise. To see the immigration attorney, you're not going to see an immigration attorney in person. Is it possible? Sure, but why would you want to anyway? It is more efficient like this, as long as you can check their credentials like we addressed in the beginning, okay? So, what kind of questions should you ask when you see an attorney? This is what you need to ask, okay? What is in my background that hurts me? What is in my background that helps me? What are my options, okay? Don't ask the lawyer, should I commit fraud and pay somebody to get married so I can get the green card in the United States? A lawyer cannot help you commit fraud. A lawyer will not help you commit fraud because as much as we love our clients, I still need to put a roof over my head and I need to keep my license. And I will not help anyone commit fraud, okay? So you need to make sure you're asking the questions. What is it what are my options? Which one do you think is the best option for me? Can you help me with that? And if so, what are the fees? And how soon can we start? Those are your questions, okay? In most cases, you will be asked for additional documents, and that's totally normal. It's normal. In most cases, you don't even know what documents to bring or what information to have before you come, no matter how much we try, and it all varies depending on the type of case, okay? So let's go to Destiny's question. Can someone in the United States invite me to US, and what is the criteria needed? Okay. So you're talking about either a permanent option or a visa option. If you're talking about visa, that it's a temporary visit to the United States, you come visit with someone, you're trying to come to get to know someone, you're coming because you want to go see the Grand Canyon, okay? If you want to come to the United States, then you have someone you can file a visa application and you can have someone invite you. If you are financially independent, you can file it on your own. You can almost always file it on your own. What you need to prove to the consular officer, and they literally will look at your application less than 2 minutes. In those 2 minutes, you need to prove to the immigration officer that you have the intent to remain in your country, you have the intent to return to your home country, okay? And you need to do that by showing personal ties, professional ties, financial ties to your home country. Basically, they want to see that you're married and your husband and kids stay behind in most cases. They want to see that you are a professional or you have had a job for a long period of time and you have no reason to leave. They want to see money in the bank and that you can support yourself and you're paying for this. Thank you, Destiny, for clarifying. So you want to come here on a permanent basis. That is a different story. So basically you want to come and remain in the United States. If you're from Morocco, that's somebody else from Morocco, sorry. Okay, so Destiny, you want to come here permanently. Generally speaking, there are multiple options, but generally speaking, there are 5 options to get permanent residency in the United States. Through investment, if you want to invest in the United States. Through family, if you have a family member who can sponsor you. Through employment, If there is an employer who wants to sponsor you and they can show that they cannot find a qualified worker in the United States who can perform the job through diversity visa, which is a green card lottery if it's available for your country, or through asylum if you are already in the United States. But those are only the 5 ways. So when we are talking, you say, I want to work in the US, you can come to work in the US temporary or permanently. You need to find an employer willing to sponsor you. Go through the process, which is long and expensive, okay, and be able to prove that they are going to pay you wages and they are going to pay you, the same amount of money that they are going to pay a U.S. worker, and they cannot find a U.S. worker willing and able to take the job. Okay, so hopefully that was good. So let's see if we missed any questions, because I don't want to miss anyone's. Having driving instructor experience in Dubai, now want to move to USA. Shazad, having driving instructor experience, you need to find a sponsor, but you might have other options, because that's honestly, it's not a great option for you, okay? What if you have been to other lawyers and have opposite advice? How do I know what is correct? This is what it could be correct in different ways. Both lawyers could be correct. It depends most of the time on the information and the documents you presented to the lawyer. It also depends on how truthful you were with the lawyer. And then it depends on the law at the time you have seen a lawyer. Every once in a while, we have people who call us and they say, well, I saw a lawyer and they told me there was nothing we could do. When was the last time you saw that lawyer? Oh, it was about 15 years ago. Oh, the law changed probably about 15 times since then. If you have been told by another attorney a long time ago that you have no options, or that X, Y, and Z is the only option that you have, you should see a lawyer every 6 months to a year to make sure your options have not changed and you don't have other options. And just because under one option, okay, you are presented with it a certain way doesn't mean another attorney doesn't have a different opinion. You know which one is correct? The one that you feel it's correct. You know which one you should stay away from? You should stay away from that lawyer that tells you what you want to hear without you doing your own investigation. Okay? Google has all the right answers. Google has also all the wrong answers. You hire an attorney to tell you which is the right answer for you. Which brings me to somebody else's comment that said, hold on a second, why is it that my friend and I have identical cases and theirs was approved and mine was denied? The cases are the same. I don't know about you and your friend, because I hear this quite a bit. I have been doing this a very, very long time. Okay? I have not yet seen 2 identical cases. I'll give you an example. I had a couple of twins, brothers from Guatemala. They were about 17 years old. They crossed the border, got to Mexico, got to Texas. They got caught. Okay? They went to see the judge. And because they were under the age of 18, they had to have a relative sponsor them. None of the relatives could take both boys at the same time. One uncle took them to Chicago. The other uncle took them to Miami. Okay? The lawyers for both worked together. So think about it. Twins. The entire situation was the same. They crossed the border the same way, same age, same experience, same reason for asylum. Absolutely same everything except where the case took place. One in Miami and one in Chicago. One was approved and one was denied, and not even a period or a comma was different in those applications. The difference was the court and the judge. So your friend telling you that they were approved and yours wasn't approved, think to yourself this way. When was the last time you actually told your friends exactly 100% of the truth of everything that is going on in your life? Never. So why do you think that your friends are going to tell you 100% the truth about their situation? There is no such thing as 2 identical cases, okay? So I'm glad you asked that question. If you have opposite advice, how do I know what is correct? You know what is correct, because if it passes the smell test, you're good. You will get a lot of people telling you, don't worry about it, I'll help you. Exactly how they are going to help you. What exactly are you going to do for me? Well, I am going to file this petition, and once we are waiting for that, then we'll file a motion to reopen, and then we are going to do the green card application. You might need a waiver, you might not need a waiver. If the lawyer tells, that's a proper answer, okay? If the lawyer tells you, I don't want to bore you with it, it's a lot of legal things that you don't need to worry about, that's a lawyer you don't want. But don't worry, I'll get you the green card. Really? Don't worry, I'll get you the green card? How do you feel if you go to a surgeon where you have cancer and the doctor says, don't worry about it, I'll do what I'm going to do, you're just going to be cancer free? You want to go there just because the doctor tells you that you're going to be cancer free, or you want to know a little bit more about it? Okay? All right. Destiny, I'm glad. I hope that helped. Rose, hello, never answer me. I don't know why. Who doesn't answer you, Rose? Hi, Rose. Who never answers you? What's your question? All right. Do I have to get married to obtain legal status in the country? No. There are many other ways to obtain legal status in the country. Rose, just ask me your question, sweetie, okay? So do I have to get married to obtain legal status in the country? No. If you are going to get married because you want to form a life with your spouse, that's a different story, okay? If you want to form a life together. And, a side effect of that, a side benefit from that is that you are going to get the green card. That's a different story. But you shouldn't get married only because you want the green card, because that is fraud, okay? Many people believe that their only option is getting married to a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. Most cases, a U.S. citizen. While that is correct in a small number of cases, depending on where you are and how you are, and what your situation is, that's not the only option in the majority of the cases. It's just maybe nobody took the time to go over it and explain it, or absolutely go over all the options and see what your options are. Okay? So no, you don't have to get married to obtain legal status. You may have family who's willing to petition for you. You may be able to file for asylum. You may be able to file for cancellation of removal, depends on where you are. You may have TPS. You don't need to get legal status to get TPS. Okay? You only get TPS, temporary protected status, if you are from certain countries. Okay? And then you qualify depending on the country criteria and so on. Okay? So, any other questions? Rose, I'm still waiting for your answer, for your question, so I can address it. Hi, Jamie. So, that's it on that. So, what else should you expect from your immigration attorney when you meet with your immigration attorney? Okay. You should not always expect to hear what you want to hear. We are all human beings. We all want to be validated. We all want to hear, yes, I can help you. Yes, you have this option and this option and this option. I personally want to know, if I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to die, I want the doctor to tell me I'm going to die. It's the same thing with an immigration lawyer. If I'm going to see an immigration lawyer, or any lawyer for that matter, if I have no option, I want that lawyer to tell me that I have no options. And that's okay, because I can revisit that in 6 months. I can go again in a year. Law might change. Immigration reform might change. Situation back in my country might change. In your countries might change. That enables you to have other options. Your marital status could change. There are so many different things could change. It's also a big difference of where you are located in the country. Okay? So, think about all these options. Okay? Any other questions that you guys have, I'll address. Otherwise, I did go over what I wanted to address today, which was what documents and what information should you have and what you should expect when you are meeting with the immigration attorney. Okay? So since we did go over this, I do not see any more questions. Do I have to get married to obtain legal status? No. All right, so we are all good. And it was good to see you guys. We'll chat again. I think we are scheduled for Monday or Tuesday. I don't know, but stay tuned. We always have new information posting, okay? And Rose, send me the message with the question, okay? Oh, you are very welcome. Join us again. Okay, bye-bye, guys.